everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Ella and today I am going to be scrapbooking with you guys and talking about a few controversial topics in regards to eating disorder and recovery. If you follow me on Instagram at Ella Daisy, then you'll know I've recently just been to Europe and it was the best trip of my life. I really made a lot of progress in my recovery journey and it was just incredible. So obviously I want to remember this trip forever, so I decided to make a scrapbook, and I've done a few pages so far. I've done the front cover, and then I've done working on a few pages here, but the main pages I've already done are my two Paris pages. Ooh. So I thought I would work on my Amsterdam pages today while we chat. I've got a lot of stickers, magazine cutouts, washi tape, all that kind of stuff just like over on my bed, and photos obviously. So I'll just be reaching around and doing that while we chat. I'm sorry if you can't really see what I'm doing. It's hard to like fit me and the book both in the frame, so hopefully everything's all good. I will show you what it's looking like along the way, but first topic I kind of wanted to talk about was vegetarian and veganism in recovery. Now, I'm just going to put a disclaimer right now here for everything I talk about. These are my own opinions, my own thoughts. You can take what I say with a grain of salt. Everyone is completely different in their own recovery. These are just my opinions, and I don't think this will trigger you, but if this is going to trigger you, then I'm just putting that out there. I want to protect your peace. These are just me, my own thoughts. I'm only a 17-year-old girl in my own recovery journey, so just putting that out there. So I'm just going to get started and I'll chat with you guys. Obviously, I am a vegetarian myself. I've been vegetarian for 5 years now, I think. So quite a long time. I would never tell you to be a vegetarian or be a vegan. I have lots of friends who eat meat and I love them just the same. Lots of my family eats meat. I don't think of them any differently. Just for me personally, I am a vegetarian. I don't believe in eating meat, eating other animals, but that is just me, and I would never force anybody else to share my views. So I've been vegetarian for like 5 years now, and I did start being vegetarian, I would guess, near when I started becoming unwell, but it was before I became really unwell. So personally for me, being vegetarian has never been about restricting, eating less or anything. I think if you're not vegetarian or vegan right now, then you should not be. If you're in recovery, you cannot turn to vegetarian or veganism. You need to recover and then you can get into that thing. If you're already a vegetarian, I think that is okay, but it really depends. For me, I don't see being a vegetarian as restriction at all. I would happily eat, like if there was like a vegetarian option and a meat option, the vegetarian option is going to be higher calories. I would prefer to eat that because I know I do not want to eat meat. But having said that, if you know in yourself that being vegetarian is kind of a form of restriction, then I think you need to stop being a vegetarian. And that doesn't mean you failed. That doesn't mean you're letting anyone down. It just means you need to recover for yourself first, and then you can always be a vegetarian later on in life. Having said that, I personally don't think being a vegan in recovery from a restrictive eating disorder is particularly healthy. I myself do tend to eat quite a lot of plant-based meals, but that's just because I am a vegetarian and that kind of just is easier sometimes. But obviously I don't think it's completely healthy. And I think it's fine as long as you are not restricted by things. And I think you know in yourself if you are. And what I mean by that is if you do eat a lot of plant-based meals, but then you're out with your friends and they're eating cake, and obviously that has dairy and stuff in it, that you don't not eat it because you're scared of eating the dairy and the calories in it. You should still join in. So that's just my opinion on it. Again, everyone is completely different, but for me, I don't eat eggs. I have always hated eggs. They are one of my least favorite foods in the world, so I don't eat eggs. Having said that, I know that if I say I don't eat eggs ever full stop, that would mean I wouldn't eat a lot of baked things, like cakes and stuff which have eggs in them. And obviously the thought of eating a cake with eggs in it and like the butter and dairy is very scary to me, and I would rather eat a vegan cake because that feels less scary. But then I know that I'm giving into my eating disorder by doing that, because obviously that's what my eating disorder wants. And to overcome and beat my eating disorder, I know I need to eat these things. So for me, I would love to one day be fully vegan. I just think, obviously I care a lot about animals, and I think it's just personally what I would want to do. But I know that I cannot do that if I'm not in a healthy place with food. And to get to a healthy place with food, I need to eat dairy and stuff before I can, to overcome my eating disorder. Hopefully that makes sense and you understand where I'm coming from in regards to that. Like on my holiday, I ate a lot of vegan foods because I do honestly enjoy vegetables and vegan foods. But then there were times when, for example, I had these churros with chocolate sauce and they were really scary, but I was really craving them. And I didn't want to not have them because they weren't vegan. Putting a label on something like that is really unhelpful for me. So I just had the churros because that's what I wanted. I think the big takeaway here is that I don't want to label my diet. I've done so much of labeling in the past of like, oh, I can't eat that, I don't eat that, blah, 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 etc., etc. And I'm done doing that. Labeling is unhelpful. I know for me, I don't eat meat, and I'm just going to stop labeling myself. Because in the long run, that doesn't help anyone, and then that just puts you in a box, and then it's awkward when you say, oh, I'm a vegan, but then someone sees you eat like cake that isn't vegan, and etc., etc. So I think just not labeling your diet is very helpful in recovery. And in recovery, it's all about experimenting and finding out what you like and what you want to eat, because you've just been not eating a lot of stuff that you actually wanted for so long. So that's kind of my opinion on being vegetarian and vegan. Like I said, the overall takeaway is if you are not already vegan or vegetarian, do not set yourself any diet in recovery. If you're already vegetarian, I think you can, but only if you're doing it for the right reasons. And I think deep down, you know, if you are being a vegan or a vegetarian because it's saving calories or because you actually want to do it for ethical reasons at all. On this topic, I did want to talk about, if you follow Imogen Barnes or Empowering on Instagram, she talked about this in a podcast episode about how she was a vegetarian, but then when she really committed to true recovery, although she loves animals and would love to be a vegetarian again, she found that that was a restriction for her, and to fully overcome her eating disorder, she thinks she needs to eat meat to do that. And I found that really inspiring and helpful to see somebody out there, real recovery person, doing that for themselves, because I think that isn't selfish or rude. It's just what she personally needs to do to overcome her eating disorder. And in the future, she said she would like to go back to being a vegetarian, but only if she's in a healthy place. And maybe that might take a while, or maybe she'll end up not going back to being a vegetarian, but it's okay. And your diet isn't set in stone. You can change and grow and adapt, and I think that's a great thing. So that's my opinion on being vegan and vegetarian. Okay, I'm going to do a bit of this now because I found out I cannot really multitask while talking and doing scrapbooking. So I'll just do a bit more and then we can move on to the next topic. Okay, I finished my first page for Amsterdam. This is my online best friend, Amber. Hi, Amber. I bet you're watching this. We met. This is us on a boat, me challenging pancakes, and this, Amsterdam here. And now I'm doing my second one. But my second topic that I wanted to talk about, another controversial one, is exercise and recovery. Using my disclaimer I've already used, this is just my opinion and my thoughts and etc, etc. Keeping that in mind. But personally, for me, I not only struggle with anorexia, I also have anxiety and depression. And obviously, people can use this as an excuse, but for me, I find that moving my body, getting outside, those kind of things really do help my anxiety and depression, which is a bit of like a catch-22, because obviously getting outside and moving my body is great for anxiety and depression, but in some cases it's not great for my eating disorder. But then staying still and sitting a lot is good for probably my anorexia, but then not good for my anxiety and depression. So that's something I've kind of been like battling and trying to work through throughout my whole recovery journey thus far. But I'm in quite a good place in regards to it at the moment. Like, obviously I'm just sitting down. I just had double chocolate overnight baked oats for breakfast, which were really good, really challenging, but I'm here sitting right now instead of, exercising or whatever. I'm definitely in a much better place in regards to exercise and that kind of thing. But something that has kind of been on my mind, and I'm kind of nervous to talk about this because I am aware it may trigger some people, but it's something that's been on my mind and I really want to talk about, is the gym. Now, this has been something I've been thinking about a lot recently, and I'm scared and I don't know what to do about it. So I thought I'd just talk about it, maybe get some of your opinions or your thoughts, or, maybe even just speaking about it will help me. But I've just been having this kind of want to go to the gym, and I know what you're thinking, like, don't do that, that's probably your eating disorder, blah, 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 blah. But honestly, I kind of just want to be strong. I really want to, because obviously when you have an eating disorder, and it just makes you so weak, and I haven't been strong for so long. Like, I don't even know if I've ever really been strong. And I've just been thinking a lot about getting stronger just for myself and not to look a different way. Obviously I still do suffer with body dysmorphia and worrying about that kind of thing, but I don't even want to like look big or toned or skinny or any of that. I kind of just want to move my body and feel good and feel strong. But then I'm like worried to myself about, like, is this a bad step? Would I might be going backwards? Is it a good time? So I'm quite worried about that. In regards to eating, like, recovery, eating disorders and exercise, my personal stance is at the beginning of your recovery journey, you should not exercise. I don't care what you're doing, how you're doing it, whatever. You should not be exercising. Maybe you can have, like, you can go outside, have a 5-minute walk, and then go sit on a bench if you need fresh air. But other than that, yeah, that's my stance. You should not be exercising. But part of recovery is learning how to exercise in a healthy way again. So I don't think it's, like, obviously I think you do need to avoid it, cut it out of the equation at the start. But as you get further along in recovery, I do think it is if you want to, it is important to introduce it slowly and in nice, helpful ways, because obviously not everyone struggles with exercise in their eating disorder, but if you do, it has been something that has not been enjoyable. It's been a chore, it's been something you've forced yourself to do in the past. So finding healthy and happy ways to do it instead of making it feel like a chore is really important. So that's my stance on exercise at the start. But then when you are in a better place in recovery, I do think it's good, or not good, but if you want to, it is fine to introduce exercise again in different ways. But obviously, you need to be monitoring it, you need to be talking to people about it so they can watch out and make sure you don't fall backwards in your recovery, etc, etc. Anyway, going back to the gym, I've been in recovery for almost 9 months now, which is really exciting, and I'm really proud of myself. And I have stopped exercise for the first start of my recovery, and then I've introduced it in forms of like yoga and dog walks, which I really enjoy. And now it's at a place where I kind of just want to see what my body can do. Because I've never, even when I was really unwell, I was never into the gym. I just wanted to be small. I was scared of being bulky and scared that lifting weights or going to the gym was going to make me bulky. So I was just like, I don't go to the gym. I'm not going to do that. Like, that's not me. But now I'm just getting this feeling of wanting to. So I'm kind of unsure about how to approach it, how to introduce it again, like introduce it into my life. Like, should I just start going and only go when I feel like it and see how that goes? Like, try it out for a month and like keep track of it? Or should I stop, like not go until I'm completely recovered? Yeah, so that's kind of where I am with exercise at the moment. I'm really enjoying it, and I love moving my body and just honoring it and celebrating it, but I'm unsure how to go about that. Okay, I'm gonna finish this page, and I'll see you in a bit. It's snack time, so I've just grabbed some food. I've got a little bar and an apple. I'm on an apple kick at the moment. I love just like crunchy, sweet apples. So that's my snack, and I'm gonna continue doing this. Okay, there's the second Amsterdam page. Some canals. We went biking, me by another canal, me near a cool church building, having some dinner. And there's the 2 Amsterdam pages. I feel like I've talked for a long time now, so I don't know if I'm gonna do any more talking. I think this might be the video. The last thing I wanted to talk about, I think I'm just gonna make a post about it because I want to. And I took some cute photos yesterday, and I want to talk about that with the photos. But that is the video. I hope you enjoyed, and this is your sign to go make a scrapbook about anything and everything. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Remember, recovery is possible. You can do it. I believe in you. You deserve everything, and I love you all. See you next time. Bye. Mwah.